What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Friday so far. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I've got an injury update on New York Mets co-ace Justin Verlander, who has been out for the beginning of the season dealing with an issue in his shoulder. Justin Verlander is obviously missing the beginning of the season because he was dealing with an issue in his shoulder, a muscle issue. But it seems like that Verlander might be on his way back, and he could even return sometime by the end of April. In fact, it's even gone as far as says he could return as early as the end of April. And he's turned the corner with his injury rehab. Verlander has been on the IR, unfortunately, with that inflammation near his shoulder, but it sounds like that the low-grade strain in his teres major muscle is starting to feel a lot better, and that sounds like Verlander could make his return to the New York Mets by the end of April, which is very positive news because so far the biggest issue for the New York Mets has been their injury issues. It has been their pitching. The New York Mets starting pitching has not been good. Carlos Correa had a really bad first start where he gave up 5 earned runs in about 4 innings. David Peterson had a rough start recently. Even Max Scherzer has been off to a rough start so far for the New York Mets. And just to get Justin Verlander back at the end of this month would be a significant boost to this Mets baseball team. Just to be able to put him out there in the starting rotation for the New York Mets would give this team a major boost and give the fan base something to get excited about to see one of their co-aces and their big acquisition in free agency this offseason out there on the mound. The question is, how effective is Verlander going to be? And is Verlander completely ready? That's the biggest question right now when it comes to Verlander. He has this teres major muscle issue in his shoulder. Is it very smart right now to bring him back a little bit too early? And then if for some reason he goes out there and he ends up getting hurt again, or he re-injures that teres muscle on his shoulder one more time? The best course of action could end up being to have Verlander rest a little bit more until it's 100% sure that he's going to be back and ready to go for the New York Mets. That's the biggest question when it comes to Verlander. We all know what he did last year. We all know how good Verlander is, but you can't push him if he's not ready. He might say he's turned the corner. He might believe that he's going to be ready to go soon, but is it the smartest thing in the world to bring back Justin Verlander at the end of this month? I would wait. Honestly, if it's me, I would wait until at least probably sometime in the beginning or middle of May. Until you bring back Verlander. You can't take a chance of bringing him back and then he ends up getting re-injured again. That's the thing with it. Teres muscle is one of the most tricky injuries because it's a muscle right near the shoulder that gives you the ability to throw velocity from your arm. And if that injury is still not 100% healed but is feeling better, especially with an older pitcher like Verlander who's 40 years old, don't want to throw him back out there and then God forbid that shoulder goes. But I trust that Verlander believes in his body and that he's going to be ready to go. And it's only a low-grade strain. If this was a higher strain, no way in hell. In fact, Verlander said in his press conference yesterday, he's progressing well, and he feels like he really turned a corner a couple of days ago. And the general soreness that he was feeling has really been dissipating quickly. And all positive signs just waiting for that to really completely go away before he steps on the gas. But he's been able to keep throwing, and increasingly, and his intensity has been throwing around 75%. He also added that he feels like he's really close to being able to take the leash off and start getting after it and build up, with the hope that the buildup is not that long. In addition, he noted that pitching in April is very reasonable. Obviously, Verlander signed that 2-year, $86 million deal this past offseason, and the New York Mets would be very, very inclined to making sure that he is going to be 100% healthy, and they're going to make sure they get a strong return for their investment after he's coming off an incredible season last year for the Astros 18-4 with a 1.75 ERA for the Astros in 2022, including earning the Cy Young Award and a World Series title for the Astros last year. But we'll have to wait and see how Verlander looks. He is throwing about 75% right now off the mound. Have to see how he looks when he turns up the velocity a little bit more and if he's going to be 100% ready for the New York Mets by the beginning of the season. Just wanted to throw out that injury update for you guys and concerns for Justin Verlander. Verlander says his pain in his arm is dissipating. He's progressing very well, and he feels like he turned a corner in the past couple of days. And he says it's very reasonable that he could be back by the end of this month, by the end of April, and he could be back pitching for the New York Mets by the end of April. We'll have to wait and see. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below. And of course, sub as always to NYG Jeffy T85 for more news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that will be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the latest news and injury status surrounding New York Mets co-ace Justin Verlander and when we could expect to see Verlander back on the mound for the New York Mets during the 2023 Major League Baseball season. Thank you very much, everybody. All of you enjoy the rest of your Friday. TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Take it easy and let's go New York Mets as always. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.